And today I want to explain why people want to have hammocks at home. Not only for our YouTube classes, but of course that's great that it's there. They want most likely because everybody who joins aerial yoga classes somewhere around the world say, I hear often people saying, I want one at home. I want to enjoy this experience more often than once a week. Maybe there is no aerial yoga class in your neighborhood, or maybe it's only twice a week or once a week. And then once you know the benefits of the hammock, then you want to have this experience more often. The hammock is there to support you. As you see, it's super easy to sit up straight. And I think a lot of people deserve and need support these days because it's quite tough. The world we're living in, it's not only work and family matters. There's a lot that we need to digest, and we are lacking of time or maybe ways of reducing stress and getting more movement. So the hammock is inviting you to calm down and to give more attention to where you are now, what is the body you need, and improving your health mentally, physically, and emotionally, actually. And how does the hammock do that? Well, you see, I'm sitting in and I really like to swing a little bit. If I start to talk slower, that's because it's really calming my nervous system. So whenever you're stressed, when you're in the hammock, it is a way to release stress, I would say, calming the nervous system, but also when you're like having anger in the body stored somewhere, somehow, you can also use the hammock just to swing it out, climb in, roll out, just do really active exercise, supported with the hammock, super safe, and getting your frustration out. That's also a way how you can use the hammock. So both is like one side, you need to get the negative energy out and your frustration out and get yourself moving and finding your inner strength. And on the other hand, you can step away of daily life issues, go cocooning, really nurture yourself, finding a safe space to detach from the outer world and really find inner peace again, having not just a moment for yourself, not to be disturbed. And somehow the hammock is very easy to offer that to you by the support, like you see by the base of your pelvis. It gives you support, stability, and making you able to move a little bit, giving you also more mobility. And the swinging, as you see, what I like is we play with gravity. And how do we play with gravity? In different ways. Of course, if you do the yoga postures, the regular yoga postures, I would say you will go deeper in certain poses. That's great. You feel supported, so you cannot fall, go too deep, or so you work on stability but also mobility, going deeper in the poses. That's amazing. But how we also use the gravity is with the physics, basically. So if we're looking at the hanging point and we're hanging straight below the hanging point, and we move a little bit away from it, like swinging, calming movements like this, in the end we will find the center. And that center also redirects the center in ourselves. I have to say that the hammock is a very lovely, caring, well, it's not a person, but I would say like a caring friend that is there to lift you up, to give you support, but is also brutally honest. So whenever you're out of balance, it will show also. And that's because we work with gravity, right? So if you're straight under the plumb line and we're moving side to side, or you stand on one leg and try one side and then the other, is like, okay, one side is really easier than the other, and it shows much easier. Yeah. On the other hand, it changes your perspective, because you are able to do so much more than you think you could do. So whenever you feel limited in movement, due to, I don't know what, if you're stiff, stressed, or maybe you're disabled, or you have an injury, or just getting old, it's a lot in the mind that thinking you cannot do certain things. The hammock shows you can. And that's just amazing. But that's building self-esteem. That gives you more motivation actually to move, because now it shows that you can do more than you think. Of course, that's more motivating you to than going to the gym, for instance. Why and how is that? Because the hammock offers soft touch, soft or deep massage. That is optional, depending also how you use gravity in your advantage. And of course, you can do exercises that really bring your inner power alive, like feeling like an acrobat, but that's really strong kind of fitness routine, climbing in the hammock. That's building strength. But it's not, you don't have to do that. You can also do very gentle, simple movements. So the hammock offers mobility and stability to everybody. If you're young, old, disabled, top athlete, acrobat, or beginner yogi, everybody can benefit from just the hammock as it is. Then for me personally, it's super interesting, and I think that's why people want to have the hammock at home. What the effect is emotionally, because it's not just calming you down and releasing stress, it's also fun. It brings the inner child alive. It's really like inviting you, come and play with me, and then showing you your strength. Yeah, it's really enlightening your strength. Showing that you can do much more than you think. And then you don't have to do a lot. It's like me, just sitting in here, and you just stretch out, or, opening the chest, or giving a little push and stretching the spine. You can just twist side to side. You can lean on one foot, or, one leg or the other, going into warrior poses. I'm not even doing them fully now, but just to give you an idea, it's like, there's so many possibilities, endless possibilities that will change your perspective. Hanging upside down is one of the favorites of many people. Of course, the hammock needs to be higher, like hip height. And then hanging upside down is really stretching the spine, creating space in between the vertebrae, releasing tension in your neck and shoulders. And the main thing is, you make it much easier for the body to send oxygen to the brain. And we need that oxygen, because due to stress and all these kind of things, some parts in the brain is drying out. And like we water the plants, we need to water our brain as well. We need to take care of ourselves. And the brain is such an important part of it. And it's often forgotten. So it's not just movement. I think movement in general is healthy for the body and the brain. That's completely true. But being in a different, seeing things from a different perspective, or change the angle, it really changes also your perspective, but creating new neural pathways in the brain that keeps you younger, that helps you to learn easier. And that's why actually also I would really suggest kids to have a hammock at home and play with it. But that's another story. You really want to enjoy the movement as well as the relaxation. So it's activating and releasing tension. That's both possible in the hammock. Now, activating can be done with movement, swinging, supporting, and regular yoga postures. Relaxation, you don't need to be able to do a lot. Just sitting in the hammock is already so much to the nervous system, to your alignment. Super easy to sit up straight. It's already supporting your pelvis, already opening up a little bit of the hips. If you just do a little swing, you create already some movement in the joints. And then you can do small other exercises as well, like stretching, massage, and so on. What do I want to say? Why would you need a hammock at home? Or why do you want a hammock at home? I understand that they want, but some people are in doubt because they wonder if the ceiling is strong enough, or if the hammock can hold them because they gained some weight. Well, first I want to say the hammock can hold a 2,400 kilo, and only after that it starts to show tears. So you don't need to worry about it. If you buy a hammock with us, you will receive an instruction video how to redo the knots, so you can wash it and install it back safely. and also to adjust the height if needed, if you don't have the daisy chains. We will always give you advice if you're in doubt of the hanging points, how to install it in your situation. There's always a solution. So one is easier than the other, of course, that's always the thing. But just for you to know that you can always send us pictures or videos like, okay, this is my situation. What do you advise? What type of mounting we would use? There is a multiple options. So we can do it in concrete, in wood, in a metal beam, but also around the beam if you want. And there is a lowered ceiling and there is space in between. There's always a solution. Yeah, just for you to know that if you really want to have a hammock at home, it's always possible. And maybe you don't want to ask the landlord if it's allowed. I hear that often. There is also a structure you can just put inside and then leave it, but there's a huge difference in quality in those, so be careful with them. Then we don't want you to just, well, of course we want you to play, but we'll give you some tips and advice. We will have on our YouTube channel some short, simple classes, and we will always advise you to also go to a physical studio and follow some classes live with a aerial yoga teacher. So you'll get some proper guidance, because in online, I'm not there. I'm not in your living room. Sometimes I feel like jumping in, but it's, yeah, of course, online is different. So we will advise you to join a class somewhere to get some insights and proper guidance and tips and feedback on how you're doing the postures. But if not, start simple, build trust, and never try crazy tricks that you see online somewhere else without having somebody else near. So if you can get stuck, make sure that there's somebody else in the house that can help you out. But for the rest, it's great. You don't have to do crazy tricks. You can do very simple movements, very simple postures, just laying down in it, like cocooning, doing your savasana, your final relaxation pose. And if there are more people around, friends, kids, husbands, wife, it's great to give each other a massage in the hammock, and that will improve your relationships, your marriage. But also the sense of touch is really underestimated. So it's not just the hammock that gives touch and gives more oxytocin to flow around. Also, really, if you touch each other, there is this piece of cloth in between. So you are protected. It's not that intense, or it feels more safe for most people. And it's super fun to just lay down in the hammock and let other people see what they can do. If they can just massage your back, or do with the fingers, or maybe even with the feet, play with it. Actually, everything is nice. When you lay down and somebody's going underneath or pushing you here and there. So I hope this is inspiring you and gives you more trust. And don't be shy. We will guide you the best possible way if you want a hammock at home.